All right, to his coy mistress. He feels as if he hasn't done anything with his life. Well, not exactly. That was more one of John Milton's sonnets. How soon hath time? So, well, that's not in there. However, okay, let's go on. The afterlife will be long, lonely, and sad. That's true. That's why he is trying to, communicate to his lover that he wants her to be more attentive to him. Written by Andrew Marvell. That's true. That is true. Now, next one. To the virgins to make much of time. The Robert Herrick poem. The rosebuds symbolize love. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That can work. Carpe diem. Indeed. To try to seize the day. To make the most of the time that you've got. Because tempus fugit. Time is a-flyin'. Yes, it's written by Robert Herrick. Next one, On the Double Murder of King Charles, by Catherine Phillips. Yes, it's about Charles II. Almost. Charles I. Dying twice. Yes, dying. How is that? Well, it seems impossible. Yay! It seems a paradox. Something that's impossible, but within the context of what we're talking about, is nonetheless true. Catherine was mad about how harsh the people were, even though she didn't like the king either. She thought that it was too much. That is indeed true. Yes, it was too much. Yes, killed him physically, but in the same time killed his reputation as well. Next one, On the Massacre in the Piedmont. John Milton, yes, he was the secretary to the Protestant Protectorate, and it is very possible that the massacre in the Piedmont was one of his intimate things. He probably drafted some of the letters that Cromwell sent to the Pope saying, hey, don't you massacre these people. They're Protestants just like us, and we have interests in that. The king was under fire and killed. No. Next, people ran to the hills and were thrown off to their death. Yes, that's true, because the Duke of Savoy had tried to clear the region of the Piedmont, wanting all those people out, or at least turn to become Catholic. Not exactly the Catholic Church's finest hour. John Milton blames the Catholic Church for the massacre. Indeed, he did. Oliver Cromwell wrote a letter to try to, John Milton wrote the letter, but Oliver Cromwell was probably saying, hey, Milton, write a letter. Wrote a letter to try and help the Protestants, but it arrived too late. Yes, that's true. And it's about the Waldensians. Yes, Google search them. It's very interesting. Consider how my light is spent. A sonnet by, yet again, Mr. Milty. Wrote it while he was going blind. Yes, notice the light part. When my light, like his eyes, is spent, like given away. It's done. It's over with. It's gone. He wrote about it when he was going blind. The light is a metaphor for his life. That's true, as it often is. Didn't use talent well before he died. Well, he was a writer, and he wanted to use it, and he was very good at it. But as he was a Protestant that believed that he would be held account when he met his Maker for all the talents God gave him, he did not want to waste the talents God gave him. And he didn't know exactly how God would fault him for that. How soon hath time, again, one of his other sonnets, how soon hath time stolen my 23rd, my 3rd and 20, he writes it, year. He didn't do anything in his life so far. Well, he did, but he wasn't exactly he didn't have anything to show for it, and he was worried about that. He wanted to know that the inward ripeness inside of him could finally come out, and he wanted to stay young. True. That's true. Said that time was a thief of his youth. Yes, yes. Ooh, personification of an abstract. That is true. That is very true. Turtles. I cough at that. Turtles? Who wrote Turtles? Don't know. Sonnet? Yes, indeed it was. John Milton? Yes. Didn't like time. He didn't like how it would steal its life. Yes. I don't know about didn't like time, though. Now, on to the other one. This is what they wrote up on the board. Okay, the stuff for valediction. Valediction is written in quatrains. That is true. Can be a speech or a poem. That's true, because a valediction is when you're saying goodbye. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a speech, although there is going to be a speech. That is a valedictory speech at graduation, given by the valedictorian. But it can also be in a poem as well. Next one. Valediction says goodbye. Indeed, doesn't it? In this case, John Donne is speaking to his lover, and he uses religious terms to show his love. He mixes holy with secular imagery. The lovers are compared to a compass. Remember the geometer's compass? Which is an example of a metaphysical conceit. Indeed it is. Next one was Meditation 17. Notice the person, the brilliant person I might add, that said that it was prose. It was not a poem. So whoever put this, very good. All right, next. Meditation, it is deeply personal, often not biographical, but autobiographical, and usually recounts some near-death experience, and the meditation is a type of sermonlet that was published. It was extraordinarily popular at that point. The next one, The Compass and the Bell. Lovely. Yes, two of the conceits that John Donne employs here. The theme also that no man is an island, that death is a translator of his. Oh, look at this. They're just hitting all the conceits. It's lovely. Next one. Metaphor about separating mankind into islands. No. Separating mankind into... no. The idea is that you cannot separate yourself into, an island by yourself, because you are part of the main. You are part of this thing called the continent of humanity. When any clod, small piece of dirt, falls off of the continent, you are affected. So that up there is kind of an oversimplification. Let's go on. Holy Sonnet number 10. It's about not fearing death. True. But if you look at the first line, it says death, comma, be not proud. So it's talking to death. Talking to an abstract concept that can't talk back to you. I wonder what that's called. You know what? There's a term for that. You know what it is? Mr. Carter found out. Check it out. It's an apostrophe. Look at that. The speaker views death as a sort of, I don't know what that means. Freedom? I'm sure that the idea was very well thought out when they wrote it, but when it became written, it sort of changed. The next one is the flea. The flea. The blood in the flea is mixed like our love. Now, I don't know about you, but fleas are gross. But in this one, he's using something called Discordia Concourse to show how discordant images can amplify the meaning in a comparison. He uses metaphysics to show love through the flea. Indeed. The flea is a symbol of their marriage. That's true, because their blood is actually commingled inside this little critter. Which brings us back to valediction, which we already did. Y'all need to study hard, but this is not going to be very difficult. You all have got this. Y'all going to do very fine. If you have any questions, see me before school, okay? See you in class.